Whether it's a product for home or business, farm or factory, you can be sure if it's Westinghouse.
This is the story of a storm. A storm not alone of the elements, but a storm within the mind of a girl as well. It is a personal chronicle. There is, therefore, much that is not and cannot be fully known. At the start, there was no clear foreshadowing of danger. On the contrary, it began quite simply at a busy bus terminal on West 43rd Street.
Green Line bus number 23 now loading at Gate 4. Union City, Secaucus, Carlstadt, Rutherford, Passaic, Park.
One to Roanoke, please.
Round trip?
No, just one way.
$9.55, including federal tax.
What? My money's gone. I had it here just a minute ago.
Better look in your bag, lady.
Somebody took my money.
Sorry, lady, you're holding up the line. Patterson. $2.55, including federal tax.
What do you like this Saturday, Art?
Notre Dame. Give them 9 points.
That's a good bet. Have another?
I'm in no hurry. Take care of the cash customers.
What'll it be, lady?
Just a cup of coffee, I think. Is that all right?
One coffee.
I thought for a moment I lost you.
There must be some mistake.
Well, no, we've never met. I saw what happened at the ticket window.
Oh,
Was it all the money you had?
all but 73 cents.
Well, you're frightened, aren't you?
Guess I am a little.
You hungry?
Please, I'll be quite all right, really.
No, how much was it?
It doesn't matter.
I'd like to sit down for a minute if it wouldn't upset you.
I'd rather you didn't. I don't feel like talking about anything just now.
This fellow disturbing you, lady?
Oh, no. It's
Bring us a
all
couple
right.
of brandies, will you?
I'm sorry, I don't drink.
Boy, it'll do you good. You're shaking all over. Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
What have you been doing?
Up to 4 years ago, I thought I'd be an actress. Up to 5 days ago, I was working in a 5 and 10.
And what happened?
I got fired. They were cutting down.
Well, what happened to your acting?
I guess I wasn't any good. I wasn't pretty enough. Anyway, I never got a job.
Oh, here. Now drink this. If you don't like the taste of it, just swallow it whole. Well, you're scared of everything, aren't you?
Everyone tells me I am.
Is it true?
Yes, I guess it is. You can be poor for just so long, and then you get tired. It makes you bitter, or you begin to be suspicious of everyone. Or you get scared. I got scared. I'm not very proud of it.
Well, maybe you just had a run of bad luck.
No, I just haven't been very smart, that's all. I've never taken advantage of luck when it came my way.
Too many high principles, eh?
I suppose so. I came from a very small town.
Oh, you needn't apologize. I like to think I have rather high principles myself. You won't find many people who agree with that. Are you married?
No,
Ever been?
no.
Why not?
Guess I expected too much.
Well, you're tired out, aren't you?
Yes, I am tired.
You better go home and get some sleep.
That's a nice idea, but I gave up my room this morning.
What are you going to do?
Well, I suppose I'll have to start looking for another job in the morning.
No, I mean, tonight you can't sleep on a bench in the park.
Oh, there's a girl I know who'll put me up for the night. One night, anyhow.
Well, shouldn't we call her up?
She hasn't any phone. It's all right, though. She's going to be home this evening.
Oh, well, let me take you there.
I'd rather take the bus.
I'll ride with you on the bus. You're far too tired to carry that bag.
You're being very kind. I don't know why.
Whoever told you you weren't pretty enough was lying.
Thanks. Even if it isn't true.
It's not the kind of pretty I've had much to do with. Perhaps in part that explains why I followed you.
What was the other part?
An impulse. And like most impulses, it wasn't altogether honorable.
I didn't expect that it was.
What's your name?
Janet Layton, what's yours?
Ben. Ben Wilson. You know what I'm going to do with you? I'm going to see that you have a few good days. With some good food and some fun before you go back. Well, where were you going anyway?
Roanoke, Virginia. My mother lives there. She's an invalid.
Well, you're going to get a good night's sleep, and in the morning I'm going to pick you up and I'll make it my business to put a smile back on that face of yours.
Is that altogether altruistic?
Curiously enough, I think it is.
Curiously enough, I believe you.
Well, then it's up to me. I'm going to make you smile again.
I'd like to feel like smiling again.
Good. We'll just call a taxi and take you right to the bus. Which one is it? Queen's bus?
Tell me, Joe, in sheer gratitude, does a couple like that ever come back to us? Thank you?
Wouldn't know, Art. It's a big city. Happens every day.
Not to me. Well, one more and I'll be on my way.
This was the city in which I'd lived for 7 years in a sort of exile. I'd grown afraid of this city. I'd even begun to hate it. And now with Ben, it was as though I was seeing it again for the first time. We saw so many different sights, just idling along the streets and avenues, gazing into store windows, going to the theater, the museums, and even a morning at the zoo. And everywhere faces that had been frozen and cold broke into smiles. It was not just spending money. I don't think Ben actually spent much at all. It was merely the security that money gives when you know it's there if it's needed. I'd never known that kind of security before. It was a beautiful 3 days, and now it was nearly over.
What time did you say? Don't be silly. There's plenty of time for a brandy before our bus leaves. Bring us a couple of fast brandies, will you?
Sure thing.
We're right back where we started, aren't we? Oh, I'm more grateful than you can know. You've been nice. You haven't made me feel you thought I owed you something.
You don't.
I'll have to owe you my bus fare. I'll have to send it to you.
Oh, forget it.
$9.55, including federal tax.
Well, you can owe me the federal tax.
You'll have to give me your address.
I said forget it.
No. I don't think I'm going to forget anything. I was awfully low when you first spoke to me.
So was I.
Why?
Anything else?
No, thanks.
I'm to blame. I'm catching a bus. He wouldn't smile. All day long, everyone else was willing to smile.
You want me to get him to smile for you?
There isn't time. Do you realize you haven't told me anything about yourself? I've told you everything about me. I don't even know what you do.
Oh, it's very dull.
Well, that's silly. It's never dull. Unless you hate it. And if you hate it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Oh, I might be a little ashamed of it.
Are you?
I don't like a lot of questions.
I'm sorry. Well, I guess we had better be getting along.
Suppose you didn't go.
What?
Are you sure you want to get on that bus?
If you'd ever been to Roanoke, you wouldn't ask that question.
Then why go?
Well, I haven't much choice, have I?
You might have a big choice. You're frightened again, aren't you?
Maybe. I'm always scared when I'm in the dark.
Suppose you just stayed here. We could get married.
Are you proposing to me?
Now, don't say you don't know enough about me. I can tell you enough. I'm not married. I have money. It's inherited. It's not earned in any case. You won't have to worry about starving because I'll take good care of you. Have a nice house in the country. You'll like it. Now, what more do you have to know?
Well, there must be other things, but I can't seem to think of
Well, then why hesitate? Just say yes.
No, Ben, wait.
What for?
When did you think of this?
Oh, I don't know. From the first moment I saw you, I think.
But there must be other people I should meet, your family or something.
I have no family.
Oh. And you'll take care of me, good care of me forever and ever?
I'll take care of you forever.
Ah, I must be going crazy. Stark, staring crazy.
No, you're not going crazy. Come on, let's get out of here.
See that, Joe? That's the way a girl gets in trouble. How does she know what she's getting herself in for? You know what I mean? Well, she was a good kid. Let's wish him luck. Happy days, kid. I hope.
Now that you've seen part one of The Storm, let's turn to our Westinghouse program. Small boy's heaven. Well, no wonder, but for heaven's sake, where did all those pies come from?
Just wait. Mom will show you.
You bet I will. There. All that baking came from this Westinghouse electric range. Wouldn't it look handsome in your kitchen? Look at this. Isn't that an enormous oven? Just how many pies would you guess are in this Westinghouse oven? Well, let's see. Did you ever see an oven that would hold so much and everything baked to perfection on any rack position? It's no wonder that they call it the Westinghouse Miracle Oven. There now. Isn't that something? 4 pies in all. Now, how do you cook your dinner while those pies are baking? There's a second oven in this amazing Westinghouse electric range. Come closer, I want to show you the dinner. There. Meatloaf, steamed carrots, casserole potatoes, all ready for the table. And all cooked automatically the Westinghouse electric way. Now, here are the switches that control the 2 ovens. And this is the automatic timer. You just set the timer, and it starts the miracle oven and shuts it off at the proper time. If you have a good-sized family with good appetites, or if you entertain a lot, you need this double oven range. These 2 big ovens are a mother's dream come true, and so is everything about this magnificent Westinghouse electric range.
Yes, magnificent is the word for it. And you'll agree when you see the Westinghouse double oven range in my store. The best looking and the best cooking range you ever saw. And why take second best? Own a Westinghouse electric range. Come on in tomorrow and see them, won't you?
And now let's return to Studio One and the storm.
Three days later, we arrived at my new home. It was a beautiful house. So much more beautiful than I had expected. I fell in love with it at once.
Go right on in. I'll go back and get the bag.
All right.
Like your new home, Mrs. Wilson?
Yes, oh yes, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to be very, very happy.
Well, you'd better go and look at the living room, too.
Oh, it's lovely.
Step right down.
I've never been in a real New England home before. I always thought they'd be cold and unfriendly. Maybe I was thinking of Plymouth Rock. I don't know. I only know this is different. Or is that something you've done?
No, I bought it almost the way it stands. Now it's all yours. You can do anything you want with it.
Oh, no, I feel at home already.
You don't think it's too remote, too lonely?
What difference does that make?
Say, you know something we forgot?
What?
Why, I should have carried the bride over the threshold.
Oh, that wasn't necessary. I was floating. Not a foot touched the ground.
Well, don't you want to look at the rest of the house?
Not yet. I just want to sit here a while.
You look very nice sitting there.
And utterly useless. What's a wife supposed to do about running a home? I've never run a house before.
Oh, that's easy. It runs itself.
But there must be lots of rooms and the meals to order. I've never been a hostess. What'll happen when your friends come to dinner? I'll do everything wrong, I know it.
Well, that won't happen very often. You see, I'm almost a stranger here. I only moved into this place a month ago.
Oh? Where did you live before that?
Oh, lots of places. I was born in Wisconsin.
It's funny. I thought you'd lived here a long time.
No, I've never lived anywhere for long, but now that you've moved in, I'll be happy to stay put.
Oh, this is so good. Peace and security.
Do I really mean that to you?
I haven't felt so safe since I was a child.
Yes, but we're not children anymore. It'd be easy if we could be, but we can't. What's done is done. We have to live with it forever after. for all our lives. Thanks for not saying anything. It's not a very appropriate time for morbidity. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
No, I have much respect for anyone who can't control his emotions. I don't know why I should make an exception in my own case.
Ben, what is it?
Oh, it's nothing. It's Mrs. Daly, I imagine.
Alexis, you're here already. I wasn't expecting you for another hour, and I was out in the garden.
Well, we got away earlier than we'd planned. Mrs. Daly, I want you to meet Mrs. Wilson.
How do you do?
Mrs. Daly does the cooking for us, Janet.
I should have been on hand to greet the brides. Isn't that right? You're walking in cold in your new home.
I'm so glad to learn you're going to cook. I don't mind anything else. I guess I've lived too long on egg salad sandwiches. But now I can just sit back and grow fat and lazy.
Well, I must say it's a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting to see so fine and fresh a young lady as yourself at all. It is a real relief. That it is after...
All right, Mrs. Daly. You might go and get our bags upstairs now.
Oh, that I will, but not till I've made you a nice cup of tea to warm you. There's a bitter chill in the air this morning.
Thank you, Mrs. Daly. I think a cup of tea would taste very good indeed.
Bet it would. Just sit yourself down and rest, and I'll have it in here for you in no time.
I don't know, but I think that was her way of saying that I'm not the glamorous type.
Oh, she's no windbag. But you know, it's not easy to get someone to come away out here every day.
She doesn't stay here then?
No, she only comes in by the day.
Oh. That explains it. The others probably looked beautiful by lamplight.
Now, Janet, listen. I want you to know
No,
that...
you don't have to explain, Ben. I'm not surprised to learn that I've had predecessors. Lots of them, I'm sure. I'm not angry or jealous or even inquisitive. We won't mention it again. We'll leave that for Mrs. Daly.
Well, this isn't quite the sort of way I plan to start our honeymoon.
Well, I'm smarter than you. I hadn't planned anything. I'm content to sit back and let things just happen.
Mr. Wilson, I forgot to tell you that your brother called earlier.
Well, David, where was he?
He didn't say, but he wants to see you, and he said it's most important.
Did he say where I could reach him?
Yes, he left a number, and I jotted it down there on the pad by the telephone.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Daly.
Wouldn't you like to come and take a look at your kitchen,
What?
Mrs. Wilson?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Daly. Thank you. I'll be in a minute.
Oh, it's a lovely kitchen.
I didn't know you had a brother, Ben. You never mentioned it.
I know.
I thought you even said you had no family.
Oh, I should have told you.
Can't you tell me now?
Well, it's a difficult situation. David's nerves are shot. War. He's supposed to stay out west, but he won't.
I see. Is he difficult?
Yes. I can handle him all right because he knows I'm fond of him. But you mustn't try, Janet. If he comes here and calls up and tries to come here and see you, make any excuse, but don't see him.
All right, Ben, I won't.
I want this place to be what you want. I won't let anything spoil it for you.
Thank you. Now I think I'll just run upstairs and take a few things out of my bag. Then I'll come down and inspect Mrs. Daly's kitchen. I won't be long. Oh, Ben, here's something for you.
Oh, thanks, dear. Janet,
Yes, Ben.
where did this come from?
It was lying there on the hall table.
No, someone must have brought it. Someone must have.
Well, I don't know, Ben. It was just lying there. Hasn't it a postmark?
Oh, yes. So it has. All right, run along. It's not going to start all over again. It's not going to.
.3 months. 3 months tonight since we were married. It's sort of a month-iversary. I wonder if he remembers. I can't be sure. But then I can't be sure of so much about him. He still keeps so many things hidden from me, like his brother David, and those letters. Whenever one of them arrives, he gets gloomy and morbid for days at a time. All I ever see is one of those empty envelopes with the same cold, formal address. He's sitting over there now in one of those dark moods. All because another letter came this morning. For over an hour, he's been sitting like that. He hasn't spoken. He's hardly moved a muscle.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Well, it's nice to have you back. I was beginning to feel rather lonely.
I know, I've been in a bad mood all day.
You've been gone a long time. I didn't only feel lonely, I felt very useless.
I bet you don't even know what today is.
Today?
At this moment, we have been married 3 months, 7 hours, and 11 minutes.
And I thought you'd forgotten.
It hasn't been very exciting for you.
Who says I wanted excitement? If I ever did, it's past.
They say nothing's ever really passed. Do you believe that?
No.
It's not easy to shut out the past altogether. There are things that keep trying to cling. You have to be strong enough to do something about them.
What sort of things?
Well, there's that tire, for example.
Tire?
Yeah, the one that's in the back of the car. It's gone flat 5 times now. If I'd had any sense, I would have thrown it in the dump heap 5 months ago, but I let it cling. Well, I'm going to turn over a new leaf. When I take Mrs. Daly home tonight, I'm going to buy a new one.
Is that all you've had on your mind?
Well, that's the one important thing.
Well, I'll go see if Mrs. Daly isn't ready to leave then. It's getting late. Oh, Mrs. Daly, you almost ready to go?
I'll just water these plants for the night, and then I'll be ready.
Oh, here, you give that to me. You go put on your hat and coat. Mr. Wilson will drive you down.
Well, thank you, ma'am. But be sure you give them a good soaking.
I will.
They dry out so fast, I think, because that radiator's right there under them.
You know, Janet,
Yes, Ben.
I've been thinking.
Yes?
I've been thinking we ought to do something about your mother. Have you heard from her lately?
Yes, I had a letter yesterday. What?
How was she?
Just about the same. Mother'll never be very much better, you know. It's just a question of how long she can hang on.
She must have been disappointed when you didn't come home.
Oh, Mother never says very much, but I imagine she was.
I was thinking maybe you ought to go down there for a few days and visit her. Might be your last chance.
Do you want me to go? You do, don't you?
Well, no, it just seemed like a good time. See, I may have to be away a few days this week myself, and I thought you might take advantage of the opportunity to pay her a visit.
When do you think I should leave?
Well, you could start tomorrow if you wanted to.
How long would you expect me to stay?
Oh, a week would be enough, don't you think?
Enough for whom?
Well, now, I'm only trying to do this for you, Janet. I want to protect you.
Protect me? Protect me from what, Ben?
Well, I don't want you to have anything you might blame yourself for. If something happened to your mother, you might start blaming yourself or me or both of us.
Oh, all right, Ben. I'll go tomorrow.
Good girl.
I'm ready now, sir, whenever you are.
All right, we're off. Well, Janet, I'll stop and pick up that tire on the way back.
Well, you better hurry if you want to get there before they close.
You don't mind being left alone?
No, I don't mind.
I'll be back in half an hour. Why don't you call up your mother and tell her you're coming?
Perhaps I will. Good night, Mrs. Daly.
Good night, ma'am.
Long distance, please. Hello, long distance. I want to place a call to Roanoke, Virginia. Mrs. William Oh, never mind. I'll put the call in later. Who are you?
The young brother. The problem. But since you seem so much at home, you might as well call me David. Is that Ben? So, Ben started leaving you alone already? Or was he running away from me?
Why did you have to sneak in here like this?
Well, that's very simple. I find when I try the more normal methods of entry, my brother has a way of slamming the door in my face.
What is it you want?
I came to see Ben. But since he isn't here, I'll have a drink instead. Oh, don't bother. I know where it's kept. Ah, this is even more convenient. I wish I didn't hate the taste.
You had some reason for coming here. What was it?
I have a 4-inch silver plate in my head. There's no good reason for anything I do.
You know, of course, that Ben will be very angry if he comes home and finds you here.
No, as a matter of fact, that's where you're wrong. He'd like to despise me, but somehow he never quite makes it. We're brothers under the scar tissue, I guess. Oh, don't worry. This'll be the last.
You really hate Ben, don't you?
I wouldn't say that.
Why?
How well do you know him?
Oh, not well, really. I know he's been good to me. I don't suppose I'll ever know exactly why. It just happened.
Yes, he would be. Ben's never been able to watch anything suffer. He either has to take care of it or run. It's got him in a lot of trouble. It's always kept him moving.
What sort of trouble?
You, for instance. You were probably all broken up about something when Ben found you. He's particularly susceptible to tears. You weren't crying by any chance when he first saw you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was.
There you are. On the other hand, Ben thinks that I'm cruel from way inside to the tips of my fingers. He even thinks I like it.
Do you?
Sometimes. Actually, I never think of myself as cruel. I'm just more direct than Ben. I haven't his capacity for running away. Who are you calling when I came in just now?
My mother. She's not well. I was going to go visit her tomorrow.
You were leaving here tomorrow?
Yes.
Why wait for tomorrow?
Let me go.
Get out tonight. Get out and never come back.
Let me go. You're
Now, look, you
hurting
gotta
me.
listen to me. It's for your own good. Get out now. Get away from this house.
I don't think you understand. I'm married to him.
Ben married you?
Certainly. We've been married for 3 months.
Well, maybe this is something different. Maybe it is.
Have you seen Ben in the last 3 months?
Yes, often.
And he never told you anything about me?
No, he must have wanted me not to know. Usually he's wanted me to keep away because I say what I think, and I haven't always admired his taste. Not up to now, at any rate. It's almost too bad I didn't see those tears in your eyes before he did.
Why did you tell me to get out?
Forget it. It's different than the way I thought it was.
Now tell me.
Look, I don't want to get into this.
But you acted as if I were in some sort of danger.
You're in danger of getting hurt. Ben's desires have been conspicuously transient. It's almost as if he'd wanted them to be. As if he hadn't dared let them be anything else. You see, Ben was hurt. Badly hurt a long time ago. Maybe I was lucky. I only got it in the head.
He's running away from something, isn't he?
Yes, he has been. For a long time.
What?
That you'll have to ask him for yourself. I don't know. He might even tell you. I would. Well, I better be going.
Won't you have one more drink first?
No, I'll leave you to finish that call I interrupted. But look, do us both a favor. Don't say anything to Ben about my being here.
I won't.
Thanks. Here. Tuck this away somewhere. Keep it.
What is it?
My phone number. You may want to call me sometime. Changed my mind. Well, it's a long road and a lonely one. I'll need company.
Long distance, please. Long distance? I want to place a call to Roanoke, Virginia. Yes, person to person.
And now let's pause for a moment and look at our program again. Lesson from a squirrel. Well, what could that be?
A mighty valuable lesson. The squirrel stores his food away when it's plentiful. And when it's plentiful, it's cheaper. We'd all save lots of money if we stored our food as he does. And it's so easy to do in the new Westinghouse home freezer. This freezer is upright. It's so much handier. No bending, no groping around for food. You just reach in and slip them out. And this Westinghouse freezer holds 210 pounds of frozen foods. Now, here's where you fast freeze your foods. In this top compartment, you get temperatures down to 15 degrees below zero. Then, in this compartment and the one below, you get the steady zero cold you need to keep your food safely frozen for months. And notice the handy shelf door. It's so convenient for loading and unloading foods. Now, let me show you how much money you can save. Suppose your food bill is $80 a month. Actual tests have shown that you can save an average of $10.80 a month with the Westinghouse home freezer. Now, just think of it. In 24 months, that means that you can save $259.20. And that's just about the price of the Westinghouse home freezer. You save this by buying and freezing food in quantities, by freezing leftovers, and by cutting down on shopping trips. Yes, your Westinghouse home freezer is just like money in the bank. And that's saying nothing about the time you save and the better food you eat.
I'll bet you'd like to take a closer look to this wonderful new Westinghouse home freezer. And I'll be very proud to show it to you. So come on into my store and let me show you the latest, and I think the greatest home freezer on the market. And you can be sure it's good because it's Westinghouse.
We return now to Studio One.
It's only been a week, but it seems longer. So much longer. I feel rather silly about being so excited. Only a few minutes now and we'll be there. It's funny. I had thought I was going home, but of course I wasn't. Even with Mother there. Poor Mother. It wasn't home. I'm coming closer to home now, and to Ben, every minute. Would you bring the bags inside for me, Jonathan? Ben! Ben, dear! Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Just put them anywhere. Ben?
Nobody home?
Well, it looks that way, and I wired home last night that I was coming.
Oh, maybe this will explain it. It's like been slipped in under the door. Found it on the floor. Ain't been opened.
Oh, dear. It's a good joke on me. That's the wire I sent last night. And I thought I was going to be welcomed in style. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for all your trouble.
Well, that's too much, Mrs. Wilson.
Oh, no, not on a night like this. And you better start back right away if you want to get past the crossroads. They always flood up on a night like this.
I guess that's right. Are you sure you're all right, Mrs. Wilson?
Of course. I'm just disappointed and a little annoyed.
Good night.
Good night. I wonder where Ben could be. He must have been away all day. Perhaps he wasn't even home last night. Mrs. Daly's been here, though. Everything's just as usual. Or is it? Something's a little different. The clock. Why, it stopped. I can't imagine Ben forgetting that. Otherwise, it's very cozy. Oh, look at my poor flowers, all withered and dead. Ben would never think of watering them. But Mrs. Daly would never have forgotten. Mrs. Daly hasn't been here then. Why not? Oh, probably Ben just gave her a few days off. It's cold. It's silly to be nervous. It's only because you've been imagining how good it was going to be to get home, to have Ben meet you and give you a kiss on both cheeks like a French general. There's some perfectly simple explanation. You wouldn't even think of it if it weren't for the wind and the rain beating against the windows. Ben's often had to stay in town all night, you know that. It would be a comfort to talk to someone, though. But who? Mrs. Daly? She hasn't any phone. David. No. Why not call the railway station and see when the last train's due? It's not much comfort, but at least you could hear someone's voice. It's silly to be frightened. The phone often goes out in less of a storm than this. And yet, stop it. Stop thinking things like that. So, there's been another letter. It's probably just the envelope. Or, don't look. Don't be a fool. Suppose you found out that... What? What are you afraid of finding? Nothing. You're really relieved it's empty, aren't you? Oh, where is he? Where is Ben? Why doesn't he come? There's someone on the path outside. It's just nerves. You couldn't possibly hear anything in a storm like this. Out there now. Probably a branch. Or you must try to get hold of yourself. If only it weren't so cold. Silly. Can't stop shivering. If I had any sense, I'd go get some wood and build a fire. That would be some comfort, at least. Why don't I? I must be afraid to move. But that's ridiculous. Look at that door. The rain's coming in so hard it'll flood the place. How did that cellar door get open? It's always locked from the inside. Someone's been in here. Someone was in here when I got back and went out through the cellar door. It's silly. What would anybody be doing here? That's funny. That's my old trunk. But I never had a handkerchief like that. Too late to go outside now. He'll be waiting there. But you can't stay here in the light like this. There's nothing to do now but wait. Wait for what? If you could just call the police and perhaps the phone's clear now and you could get through. And it wasn't imagination. It's all real. This is happening to you. It's happening now. The cellar door. It was left open on purpose so that he could get back into the house. And then I locked it. And now, that crash of glass. Of course. He had to break the window to crawl back in. He had to come back. He had to come back. To do what?
Janet, now, there, now. What's got into you? Why didn't you let me know you were coming?
I did. I wired last night. Oh, Ben, hold me close. I'm so frightened.
Oh, now.
Are you all right? You are all right, aren't you?
Of course I'm all right. I'm a little tired, that's all. It's been quite a night. I've been 3 hours getting out from town. Now then, tell me what's the matter with you. Come over here and sit down. Now, what's got you in such a state?
The cellar. There's a woman's body in the cellar.
Janet, you're just imagining things.
No, I'm not. I saw it. It's a woman's body stuffed into that old trunk of mine.
Janet, now listen. Pull yourself together.
But it's true. It's true.
Stop it, Janet.
Who could have done it? Who? Could it have been David?
David? Don't be ridiculous.
But you told me he was dangerous. You told me never to see him.
Now stop.
And
Listen.
I did see him. He came here once, and if he could come once, he could come again.
Listen to me, Janet. I put David on a train to Chicago this afternoon. I didn't want you to see him because he's shot. He gets drunk and says ugly things. Sometimes he goes out and starts talking wildly. He's a tragic case, but he's not dangerous, and he's not a murderer.
But I saw it. I saw it.
Oh, that's ridiculous. If it'll make you feel any better, I'll go down there and look. The whole thing is preposterous.
Then go and look.
All right, will you come with me?
No.
All right, stay there then. I'll go.
It is true. I saw it. But what if it weren't true? What if... Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Janet, come on down. Everything's okay.
But it can't be. It can't be.
Are you coming down, Janet?
Yes, Ben. I'm coming.
Where now? Look for yourself. You see anything wrong?
I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, Ben.
No, take it easy. There. That's all right. You'll be all right. Oh, wait! Janet! Stop! No, stay, Janet, please!
Was you...
Yes.
Why? Why?
Because she was trying to take you away from me. She was also Mrs. Ben Wilson, Janet. I was only 18. She was 25. I found out soon enough what she was. I tried to get rid of her. She wouldn't let me. She'd never let me. She was smart. I tried running away. She'd follow me. She'd take every cent I had, and I'd have to start over again. But she kept coming after me and after me. And then I came here. And for 3 years, she let me alone. I thought I'd get away from her. Then, the day we came here, after our wedding, there was that letter waiting for me. She had me then. She knew it. She meant to kill our marriage. She even came here and stayed. I had to get rid of her, Janet. I had to.
You murdered her. Now what?
I wanted you never to know. But now you do know.
Yes. Now I know. I'm not even your wife as she was. But I know.
Janet.
Could I ever trust you now? Could you ever trust me? Wouldn't you wonder, every time I went into town, if I were going to the police? And I would wonder, every time you held out your arms to me, whether you wanted to hold me or
Janet.
No!
Janet!
No!
Janet! 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 Janet!
Soon I'll reach the main road. It's just beyond the next bend. Then there'll be people. And questions. I'll have to answer. I'll have to say that Ben killed someone, that he almost... Almost what? Almost what?
That, Janet Layton, you'll never know. The night and the rain will end, but in your mind, the doubt will go on. The uncertainty, the storm.
Sure is a strong word. But over the years, we at Westinghouse have learned to live by that word. Learn to be sure in everything we make, whether it's a turbine to light a city or a 12-cent bulb like this one to light your home. The heart of the Westinghouse lamp is its filament. Ever see one? Here. This filament really isn't the short, fairly thick wire it seems to be. Actually, it's extremely fine wire, coiled and then coiled again. Now let's uncoil the wire. It's so fine you can't see it with the naked eye. But, so you'll be sure it's there, we'll attach it to these two electric terminals and light it like this. The real miracle of the filament inside a light bulb is coiling it with superhuman accuracy. On machines like this, with the sureness that makes every Westinghouse bulb burn so bright, last so long, whether it's a product for home or business, for farm or factory. You can be sure if it's Westinghouse.
This is Paul Brenson saying goodnight for Westinghouse, inviting you to be with us again next week. Meanwhile, stop in at your nearest Westinghouse dealers. See the range that's made for people who like good cooking. The Westinghouse Double Oven range. And while you're there, take a look at the brand new Westinghouse freezer. You'll find it something you'd really like to own. And now, until next week, good night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.